I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful and tolerant left. The left that wants gun control. The left that wants to kill fetuses up to 9 months. The left that says they love and want everyone to have a seat at the table until they don't agree with you. Now say what you want. If this happened to Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or any Democrat, I would literally be the same. It's unacceptable on every level. And I find it funny that political violence against Donald Trump is accepted by these animals. But when it comes to them, we're supposed to be empathetic. We're supposed to be sympathetic, which I would be because I'm a fucking compassionate human being. That's actually what it looks like, right? When it's not about politics, when you raise it to that level, it's no longer about the politics. It's now about what the hell are we doing? So until people like this are eradicated and no longer on this earth, we will never find the peace that we need. Have a good day.
Well, howdy folks, this is your friendly neighborhood watchman, here with you today to talk about the second assassination attempt against former President Donald J. Trump. It's not surprising, as the same nonsensical and vitriolic rhetoric keeps coming from the left and the Democrats that insist on projecting and saying things against and about Donald Trump, that being he is a danger to democracy, when it's the other way around, when it's Marxist commies like Kamala Harris and her running mate Tampon Tim, far left extremists, make no mistake about it, whose only reason for attempting to hide her views and appear more moderate is so that she can get the votes, just as Democrat and socialist Bernie Sanders alluded to in an interview.
You have described Vice President Kamala Harris as a progressive. She has previously supported Medicare for all. Now she does not. She's previously supported a ban on fracking. Now she does not. These, Senator, are ideas that you have campaigned on. Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election.
Who weaponized the law referred to as lawfare against Donald Trump and other Republican conservatives.
He ain't lying.
And without further ado, let's get into this article from the New York Post and by Miranda Devine with the heading, "Reckless Rhetoric from Democrats and Media are to blame for the second Trump assassination attempt." Donald Trump was targeted Sunday in a second apparent assassination attempt in as many months. An eagle-eyed Secret Service agent, thank God, reportedly spotted the barrel of a gun in bushes a few hundred yards from where the former president was playing golf and shot at the would-be assassin, who was later arrested. It's a frightening development that highlights the recklessness of the hateful rhetoric aimed at Trump by his political opponent, even after he was shot at a rally in Pennsylvania in July, which has been whitewashed and all but forgotten by the mainstream media. Last week, Kamala Harris falsely accused Trump of calling Nazis, quote, fine people, end quote, promising a, quote, bloodbath, end quote, which was about the automobile industry. Thank you very much.
He ain't lying.
And the fine people wasn't about the Nazis. It was about people on both sides of the debate, whether to take down statues or not.
Spitting facts. It could change your life.
And being responsible for the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
Whatever.
Yeah, worse than 9/11, remember? She and Biden and surrogates constantly exaggerate the January 6th Capitol riot and use it to frame Trump as a, quote, threat to democracy, end quote. Yeah, you remember January 6th with over 16,000 hours of video, the majority of which they kept hidden from the public and cherry-picked images they wanted the public to see. We know there were federal agents interspersed throughout the crowd and agents provocateur. I mean, anyone with the brain of a mouse could tell you that in the history of mankind there's never been an unarmed insurrection. And for argument's sake, pretend everybody had a machine gun. There would have been a lot of deaths, but there would not have been an overthrow of the government. A few thousand people cannot take on the military. So that's how ridiculous that claim is of an attempted overthrow of the government.
Duh.
But back to the article.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Joe Biden has labeled Trump and MAGA Republicans as semi-fascists and domestic terrorists. Again, they're projecting. Tim Walz, of all people, called Trump a fascist and threat to democracy, who will put people's lives in danger. Yeah, says the one guy who kept the country out of any war and would have pulled out of Afghanistan without the loss of those 13 lives and other servicemen and women that were maimed and injured. On Saturday, Democratic Senator Chris Murphy described Trump as, quote, a candidate explicitly running on a promise of political violence, end quote. Where the hell did that asswipe come up with that? And here's this loser whose son says, like Norman Bates, father wanted her to fly as long as that fly was Democrat.
I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know and they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
My dad hates Trump. Even I don't like Trump, as does any reasonable person, said Ryan Roof's loser son. In Orwellian fashion, they accuse Trump and his supporters of stoking violence when the evidence is almost all the other way. Hello. Exactly. Conveniently, whenever Democrats are fleeing the heat on a damaging issue, there are always bomb threats or phony-looking racist leaflets to distract the media and get maximum publicity. Where Trump's "they're eating the pets" riff and 1,000 memes focus attention on the plight of locals overwhelmed by a sudden 30% increase in their population due to thousands of Haitian migrants ushered in by the border czar Harris and Biden. That's some shit right there too, boy. They're trying to bring in all kinds of people into the country before the election. People of a different culture. Here we have a photo of the gun, this rifle, and backpacks found at the scene. Yeah, your father wouldn't hurt a fly. What he bring that rifle for? To go deer hunting at Trump's golf course? Get the fuck out of here. Having ignored the border crisis for 3 years, the media is now demonizing long-suffering Springfield citizens and portraying anyone who highlights their plight as a violent bigot. Par for the course when it comes to these hypocrite Democrats. CNN host Dana Bash even accused Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, on Sunday of causing the hospitals, the schools, the government buildings to be evacuated because of bomb threats in Springfield. What would it take for these demented partisans to lower the temperature? Jail time. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, no, come on.
So bad. You look bad. You look like you've been doing hard time.
I say, if you come up to me, I'ma cut it.
And with that, folks, we reach the end of this article. But, as always, when we have the time, you know we'd like to take a quick look at some viewer comments. First up, we have Okret. Would the Dems also always decry gun ownership by Republicans? And Kamala is again threatening to confiscate them. But thank God there's decorum with Republicans who never threaten an opponent this way and hopefully never will. Fight the good fight as long as you can. Johnston, USA NYC replies, nobody, many of us own, even carry, responsibly. Guns are not the real problem. It is the culture of hate that is at fault. Guns become the vehicle of choice for lashing out in desperation. End the hate and you end the problem. Black Sheep replies, Harris has not threatened to confiscate any guns. Leftist alert. Neither did Obama or Hillary. You just keep saying it. Just think though, if assault weapons weren't available, Trump never would have been shot or shot at. Fits for Chips replies, she legitimately said she would support a mandatory firearm buyback, aka confiscation. Where the heck have you been? Harry Flashman also replies, you aren't paying attention. Harris is on film supporting mandatory buyback. Next up from William, I'm a dumb savant jr. Reckless rhetoric from Divine and Murdoch Media to blame for second Trump assassination attempt. And he has six morons, even more idiotic than himself, to like his asinine comment. RKS replies, this is the first time a comment has made me wonder if the sender is sane. Yeah, you got that right. He's an idiot Democrat or a troll. Take your pick. Next up from Love Cena we have 2 attempts on his life prior to the election should be a no-brainer that the radicals are desperate. I will hope that the average American will see this and use their brains when they vote in November. You got that right, love. This next guy who replied, Dave from Boca, just proof that not everyone in Florida is a sensible conservative or Republican. Yup, the shooter was identified as Ryan Root, 58, a Republican, lie, incorrect, who voted for Trump in 2016 and was supporting Haley and Vivek. And felon Trump's first shooter was also a Republican who supported him. Another lie. So what's up with that?
Oh, hell no!
P.S. and this is ironic. Do your research next time before comment.
Bitch, please.
Take your own advice, dumbass.
Daddy, chill.
Debs Rose replied, he donated to Harris and has a vote for Harris bumper sticker on his truck. Keep up to date. Exactly what I'm talking about. But Light replies, absolute truth, but the conspiracy theories will run rampant because they can't comprehend reality. I don't know if this dude's replying to the moron Dave from Boca or Deebs Rose. True American replies, that's to throw everybody off about being a Republican. Also, they both have mental illness. You got that right. Yeah, so everyone shooting at Trump is a Republican. Oh, brother. You can't make this shit up, boy. Pat the Man. 180 million people voted in the last election. More than half your population during a pandemic. How are you going to come up with those votes again? Well, just count all those votes from dead people again. Fraudulent ballots and ballots being counted over and over again to come up with those numbers. Easy peasy Democrat sleazy.
Yeah, what?
Arthur Morgan replies, blaming the victim. You must be a Democrat.
He's utterly distasteful.
These 2 replies are to a comment that's been removed for violating the policy of the New York Post, so we can only surmise from these replies is that the person was trying to blame Trump for being targeted for assassination. But I digress. Next up, from Rhinos for Harris is, if you hate Taylor Swift, you hate America. Oh, give me a freaking break.
Whatever.
Last but not least, we have Joni C. with, after reading this article, something that Harris and Biden don't understand is that the only thing Trump is guilty of is being pro-American. And with that, folks, we come to the end of this video. If you agree with the article and my comments and the comments from the majority of the readers, then hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification bell so that you always be given a heads up for every time I drop another video. And as always, stay safe and I bid you peace.